Hello, hello. What's up, everybody? Hello, Marcos Villegas here. Finally back from the bubble in Dallas, actually. Back home in sunny Southern California. What's up, everybody? How's it going? This is the Fight Up TV live chat. What's up, Yair? Thanks for your help over the weekend, bro. December 7th, the year 2020, the year of our Lord. Man, over the weekend, Errol Spence Jr. Beating Dany Garcia via unanimous decision in a very convincing win. He won convincingly. This fight wasn't close. It was all Errol Spence. So I just wanted to go ahead and talk to you guys about the obviously the performance that Errol Spence had, what I liked in the fight, what I felt Dany could have done, and just overall give you guys my experience being in the hotel bubble for a week, and then also experiencing the fight live and in person as well. So let's get right to it, man. Let's get some likes in here for this live stream. Everybody, just go ahead and like, and if you haven't already, go ahead and please subscribe to the channel. We got you covered on the daily for boxing coverage as we get closer and closer to cracking 1 million subs. Go ahead and follow us on social media at Fight Up TV on Twitter and Instagram. And if you want to give my personal follow, go ahead and follow as well at Hey, it's Marcos V. So let's get right to it, man. Errol Spence beating Dany Garcia. I had it 8-4 there ringside in person. And let's get right to your comments. Let's get right to your questions. Anything you want to know about the week that I was there. Anything you want to know about how I saw the fight in person, how it was being at the fight in person. Just go ahead and leave your questions and comments on the live chat right now. So I'll get right to it. Errol Spence jab will give Crawford problems. I think the jab in general gives anybody problems. You look at even the greats over the history of boxing, such as Floyd Mayweather. Had trouble with the jab. Everybody, even the elite guys, have a jab, and I think Derek James said a very good quote as well in the post-fight press conference. He said something, and I don't remember exactly what he said, but he said that the jab is the first punch you learn, the quickest punch to throw, the hardest punch to defend, which is the truth. It's funny, the truth. Errol Spence is the truth. But no, yeah, you could see, throughout history, even the elite guys, if you have a good jab, they're going to have trouble blocking your jab. And Errol, man, he did his thing in there. And really, his jab was the key. Dany Garcia admitted after the fight in the post-fight press conference that the jab is really what won Errol the fight. And he said that Errol's jab was really, really tricky, and he tried to go around it with, slipping and dipping, or try to hook around it, but he just couldn't. He couldn't. And really, Errol was just too active, too consistent. And I think that's the overall theme when Dany Garcia fights, right? Dany Garcia just doesn't throw enough punches, and through his no fault of his own, like it's just who he is as a fighter. He's a counterpuncher, so he's naturally going to be at a disadvantage stylistically against these heavy volume guys. And there's a formula already there to beat a Dany Garcia. You just got to be more active than him. Yeah, he'll catch you, and you got to be really careful, because if he clips you real good, it's going to put your butt down on the canvas. But if you practice a high guard, you're defensively responsible, you don't get lazy, you can just outwork the guy, and you will get a decision victory against Dany Garcia. The Porter fight, I had it scored the same way as this Errol fight, 8-4. I think Errol took a few rounds off, and those rounds that he took off were the rounds that Dany Garcia won. And Dany's he's in a tough spot, man, because he has losses to Spence now, to Thurman, to Porter. Certainly, he doesn't want to be a guy to be used as a measuring stick, or used as a name that these young guys want to get on their resume. He's still, I feel, top 5, But obviously, given his and Raiders 4821, he asked the perfect question. Do you think Dany Garcia is a gatekeeper now? I don't think he's a gatekeeper, but and I'll tell you why. Because he's still the elite. The Thurman fight was a razor close fight. Porter and Spence, like I just said, because he's stylistically at a disadvantage because these guys are high volume punchers, Porter and Spence. It was a little bit of wider of a margin there of scores. The thing is, I think Dany Garcia can be a world champion again. That's why I'm not calling him a gatekeeper. I think he's still amongst the top 5 in the world. To me, a gatekeeper is a guy, and you could make an argument that Dany could fit some of this criteria, but because I feel he can still be a world champion, and because his fight with Thurman was razor thin, and I think on a good day Dany could beat some of these guys, and he's still top 5. I don't think anybody else outside of the top 5 would be able to beat Dany. If you look at the guys in the top 5, that includes in the world, against Terrence Crawford, obviously he would be an underdog in that fight. He just fought Errol Spence, who's seen as number 1, number 2 in the division. Sean Porter seen as number 2 or number 3, depending on where you have Crawford and Spence at the welterweight rankings. You got Keith Thurman, Ugas, who's surging. Ugas and Dany Garcia would be a good fight. Who would be the favorite in that fight? Ugas throws a lot. That's the thing. He goes to the body, but he gets he stays in the pocket for a little bit too long than what I'd like to see. And that'd be a good fight. But I still do think that he's not yet at that like Paulie Malignaggi type path in his career, where they're using your name to build a younger guy or a guy that's up and coming. Because Dany Garcia against these guys, 9 times out of 10, if they were to fight 10 times out of 10, actually, he would win some. So, we'll see where it goes with Dany. All right, you guys have a lot of questions. I'm gonna try to go from top to bottom. You guys have already commented it so much, but okay, let's start from top to bottom. I'm going to try to get to as many questions as I can. If you want to, I guess, skip the line, expedite it, or just have a question that you have to get answered, go ahead and use the super chat function. Do me a big favor, guys. Press the like button. We got 165 people in here. We should have 165 likes. So everybody, please press that like button so we can get more likes up in the stream. Someone said a funny thing the other day with the YouTubers fighting with Jake Paul when he knocked out Nate Robinson. They said, like, yeah, Nate Robinson's the only man in history that before he got knocked out, he heard, make sure to like and subscribe before he hit the canvas, which is funny because that's what we all say when we're on our live chats. Us YouTubers, make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to like and subscribe. All right, let's from top to bottom with questions. I'm going to try to get to as many as I can, and they might be a little bit shorter, so I can get to as many as I can with you guys. Here we go. Errol looked good for a 14-month layoff. He did, even though he gave himself a B rating. He didn't look like the Spence from Porter. I felt maybe he was like a second off with a few things, but overall he looked very, very good for a 14-month layoff. Someone asked who won. Really, bro? Really? Okay. Canelo would be both. Well, Canelo's 3 weight classes above these guys. He's a bigger guy. Pac-Man than Bud at the end of 2021. I'd rather would have Crawford and not have Manny fight against these guys. I think Manny's at a point where I just don't want to see Manny get hurt. And I think even though the Spence fight would probably be a better fight stylistically for Manny, it's still very, very tough fights, man. And when you get to the age that Manny's at, you need to be active to stay sharp and be sharp. The longer layoffs you take at an older age, it could end up nipping you in the butt. So, we'll see what happens. Pac versus Spence, excellent fight. Errol looked good. I had him winning 9-3, had it 8-4 in person. That was an easy win for Errol, the truth. I wouldn't say it was an easy win. Errol had a really grind in camp. He mentioned that he started camp for this fight, just to get back to what he was. I believe January, February, March, April, May. I think he said no, March, April, May. He either said March or May. He's been in camp for a very, very long time. Dany at 154 pounds. I asked this question to Angel. Is now the right time for Dany to dip to 154 pounds given the result? And do you think that would be a good idea? And he said no. He said it's not like, he said the weight's not the problem. He said that Dany just didn't throw enough, and that if he would have thrown punches like he did in the 12th round, he would have won the fight. And that there'd be too much of a sacrifice on their end, because the guys fighting at 154, he said, are cutting from like 185, 190, and Danny's not that big, which is true. Because I think Dany started his career at lightweight, if I'm not mistaken, and had all the success at 140 pounds. So Angel didn't like that idea for Dany to fight at 154 pounds. Good morning from Myanmar. What's up, man? What's going on? Thanks for going in. Danny's dad was mad. I noticed they're being live. Something happened. I heard that Charlo and Angel got into an argument or something like that while Dany was getting interviewed. I remember seeing something was going on, and I saw Angel flipping somebody off, but because there were so many camera crews around him, I couldn't really see what was going on. So I know something happened. Angel was yelling at somebody and going off on somebody, but I don't know exactly who. I heard from someone it was him. Don't quote me, because I haven't found video. I haven't heard from anybody that was there in that section that it was him. So, someone had told me just secondhand. So you can't really trust secondhand info as well. 9-3 Spence, 8-4 as well. Who do you think Spence will fight next? Definitely won't be Terrence Crawford, which is a bummer. Probably will be Manny Pacquiao, maybe. Excuse me for that. I'm going to go ahead and send a text actually to one of his advisors and see what's up, what they're thinking. If not Manny Pacquiao, I think a fight that could be next, it could either be a rematch with Sean Porter. I know Sean Porter, I think, is one of the mandatories as well. A fight that I'd love to see is Ugas. I'd love for Ugas to get a shot. I think at one point he was the mandatory for the IBF to fight Spence. So I'd love to see Ugas get that crack, because I think Ugas and Spence could be a very interesting fight. It could be a very challenging fight. Kelbrook jab gave Crawford problems. Imagine what Errol Spence would do to Terrence. True, we can see, but Terrence Crawford is a different type of fighter, man. Different, more versatile. There's much more to him. Longer reach than Dany as well. Completely on a different level, I feel. Dany did what he always does, holds back and isn't willing to risk when it counts in title fights. Not true. He's a counterpuncher. Punchers wait for you to punch, and they use timing and all that. So it's who he is as a fighter. He's a counterpuncher. Dany moved to 154. We already went through that. Yair, what's up? What's up, bro? I'm just barely getting to the first comment that you wrote. 10-2, Errol easy. But do you think Errol's getting bored of boxing? He told us that after the post-fight press conference. He actually told us, which is interesting. He said that he could have easily outboxed Sean Porter if he wanted to, but that's boring to him. And it just shows you. That's funny that during a fight you get bored because you're boxing. It shows like how good you are as a boxer, that you're like, man, this sucks. Like, this is boring. I can't really. The only way I could relate is like when you're playing a fighting game with somebody. You're playing Street Fighter or Tekken, and you're just whooping your friend's butt so bad, and you get bored because it's not a challenge to you. That's the only way that I could relate to when he's saying that. Because taking a punch in the face make you not bored. Let's see here. Dany was demoralized after 7. Do you see Manny versus Spence happening next? Maybe 50-50 chance. Dany versus Mikey Garcia. That's an excellent fight. I would love to see it. There was talks about that happening before this Spence fight. I could never get a straight answer from anybody as to why the fight didn't happen. I remember I asked Mikey. He told me he doesn't know what happened. I remember I asked Dany. He said, I don't know. I never got a contract. So we got our first super chat. Let's see here. Beezer Beats. What's up, bro? What's up? Thank you for doing the super chat, man. I really, really appreciate that. Beezer Beats asks, I can't believe all the disrespect for Dany Garcia. Errol had no intention of finishing the fight. He was fine taking the 8-4 win. He respected Dany. He told us, after the fight, obviously, he had a lot of respect for Dany. And he knew he couldn't get lazy with Dany because he knew if he got lazy, that's when Dany, in his past fights, has put you on your butt, has cracked people and knocking them out. And he mentioned that to us after the fight. I also heard in the post-fight press conference, because I had put out a highlight of the post-fight press conference, that Derek James told Errol the same thing during the fight. Hey, don't get lazy. It's when these other fighters in the past have gotten lazy with Dany that have gotten cracked and knocked out. So keep your hands up. And for the most part, Errol had a high guard, very high guard throughout the fight, which, seeing that makes me wonder a lot about the Terrence Crawford fight. If he does a similar approach, that he's going to be blocking a lot of Crawford's punches when coming in, if he chooses to come into jab. So, it's still a 50-50 fight, but I'm starting to see things there that either way, man, because I see things there that I feel that Terrence could do well. I see things there that I see in Spence, and I'm like, man, what was Crawford going to do to counter this? That's why that fight is so great. That's why there's so much interest, because we really don't know. We want to see how these guys who are perceived to be on equal footing, equal ground, equal level, how are they going to figure each other out? Who's going to make the first mistake and who's going to capitalize it? And what's the story of the fight going to be? That's why we want to see the fight. So I can only hope that we at some point do see the fight. It's looking like Crawford is going to work things out with his promoter, but I don't know. He was there over the weekend. I saw him there in the crowd. I saw him after at the hotel as well. So, it's not good. I'm pretty sure, confident, even though I don't know any info, pretty confident that it's not going to happen next. If it happens next, oh my God, that'd be awesome. But I'm pretty sure. Let's get some more likes here, guys. 253 people. Let's get it up to 100. Let's go. All right. Skipped a bunch of questions. I apologize, guys. I'm sorry. There's a ton of you guys are asking a lot of stuff, so I'm gonna have to randomly. There's another super chat here. A straight drop. Who you got? Dany versus Broner. Huh. That's an interesting question, man. Dany Garcia versus Adrian Broner. They're both low output fighters. Maybe the vlog's I got to work on the vlog after this. I'm going to go to the gym and I'll do the vlog. The vlog is pretty good. I didn't know I was going to run into this. I pretty much chronicled the retirement of Chia Santana, which was crazy to me, which like after when I was thinking about it, because I was there before he did his interviews, and then after his weight cut, I caught up with him after he missed weight, and I caught up with him after he missed weight, and I talked to him. And, dude, his eyes looked so sunken in, man. He looked like a skeleton, and he looked terrible. And then after the fight, I caught up with him again, and he told me he was going to retire, that he was done. He started breaking down and crying. So it's just crazy. I didn't know I was going to run into a retirement, chronicling a retirement the last week of this guy's career as a fighter. So that's going to be in the vlog. I need you guys to watch the vlog, please. Watch the vlog so it gives me, in Spanish we say ganas, or it gives me like a desire to keep doing the vlogs. So I know like, hey, people are enjoying this stuff. People are watching the vlogs. So if you didn't watch it already, watch the Tank Davis vlog that I did. Give me, feedback on what could make the vlog better. But hopefully I get to that vlog by tonight so I can have it ready for at least Wednesday, because it's a lot of footage there. But Dany versus Broner, I would favor Dany because he's a little bit bigger, and he's a little bit bigger of a puncher. And I think he's faced better competition on his resume, and he's accomplished more. Even though Broner, you can make an argument Broner has accomplished more, 4-weight division champion. But I think Dany's been more active. He's been sharper. He's been more dedicated. So I would favor him on paper to win the fight. But a highly motivated Broner, see, it's tough, because you never know what Broner going to get. If this was the Broner of old, I'd be pretty confident with my chances with Broner. If it was the Broner of old, I'd just be, he's too quick for Dany. But now at this point, I don't know. Giovanni 305, thank you for the super chat. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it, bro. Here we go. Giovanni 305 asks, activate this thing. How do I activate? Let's see here. I'm still learning this thing. I'm trying to learn OBS so I could have like your chat windows like pop up when you guys watch it on Rewind or whatever. So yeah, if you guys know how to do that through YouTube, please let me know. That'd be awesome. Because the only thing that I know of it's done through freaking OBS. All right. Do you think Crawford needs the Porter fight before fighting Spence? If so, would that make it a 50-50 fight? Do I think Crawford needs the Porter fight before fighting Spence? I think certainly if he fights Porter and he beats Porter, it makes the Spence fight that much bigger because, we'll be watching that Porter fight and be using it as a measuring stick as to how the two could stack up depending on the type of performance that Terrence Crawford has against a Sean Porter. If he goes in there and just completely dominates a Sean Porter, it's going to make a lot of us think like, dude, like Errol Spence had a close fight up until the knockdown with Sean Porter. Look at what Terrence did. Jeez, even though Spence says that, he chose to dog it out with Sean Porter. I don't know. It could be that's the case, or it could be that no, Sean Porter pressed the issue against him. Sean Porter came to fight and made him fight that type of fight. I would prefer to see the Crawford fight with Spence next because, look, anything can happen in these fights, especially in camps, man. And, obviously if Crawford loses to Porter, me personally would still want to see the Spence fight, but it takes a lot of the shine away. It takes a lot of the intrigue away for an Errol Spence Jr. fight. Crawford, if he loses, is going to have to win 3, 4, 5 in order to get that same type of build-up, same type of hype again for an Errol Spence fight. So I wouldn't risk it. I would go straight into the Spence fight unless, Crawford goes, nah, like I'm going to dominate Sean Porter. I'm going to go into this fight because he's that confident, which, obviously Terrence Crawford would be the favorite in a fight with Sean Porter, but it's a difficult fight because Sean comes in and he just freaking batters you, and the volume, like Sean Porter's fights are like some of the most hardest fights to score, man, because you constantly have to be questioning yourself what to score, what not, what to score, what's effective, what's not effective, because you could be like, damn, Terrence landed a lot of pot shots, but then you think like, shoot, but Sean was active and busy 2 minutes and 45 seconds of that whole round, just throwing punches to the body, throwing punches to the gut, throwing punches to the head, just work. You can't discount that work as a judge, so his fights are very, very tricky. Like you just got to ask yourself, who would you rather have been in that round? And in a lot of those rounds, you think like, geez, man, I wouldn't want to be battered for 2 minutes straight in that round. Like out of 2 minutes out of 3 minutes, it's Sean Porter just beating the crap out of you, just pounding away at you, even though, if you're blocking some of those shots, he's still freaking hitting you and touching you. And it's like, I don't know. So Sean's fights they're so hard, man. They're very, very difficult to score because he's so active in there. All right, guys. Is it true Manny wants Errol now? Forgot what I heard that. He's been wanting the Errol fight for a bit, but I think they had an agreement in place for Crawford, which to me, honestly, like Manny and Crawford, that is a bad fight for Manny. It's a bad fight. It's a counterpuncher that can. I think Errol is going to be a bad fight too for Manny because of the jabs, to be honest. So, yeah, it's a tough fight. 7 more likes, guys. Let's go. Let me get to 100 likes and go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If I'd help us get to 1 million subs, man, we're getting closer. We're getting closer. When we started this year, we were like at 750,000. Now we're at 917. So please subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to already. Please support and watch our content, please. Let's get to 1 million. Okay, back to the questions. I apologize. I'm just randomly now because I lost my place because of the super chats that happened in here. Let's see. Fight night stream was dope this weekend. Thank you. Appreciate that. Virgil versus Broner would be a good fight. Jeez, Virgil versus Broner, that's a tremendous fight. I like that fight, but I don't think it'll happen because Broner's with PBC and Virgil's with Golden Boy. It's just hard to make fights when they want to make fights in-house. Which I understand, keep the money in house, but come on, it's like give us the fights that we want. Yeah, I hear Spence versus Logan Paul. Get out of here with that. Come on, bro. Come on. The vlog's gonna be out hopefully Wednesday. Okay, so everybody watch the vlog. My vlog from my week in the bubble. And yeah, like I mentioned, chronicling the retirement of Chia, which is crazy. That boy Logan, hard hitter. Well, yeah, dude's like 200 pounds. You seen the guy with his shirt off? The guy's freaking ripped. I would expect the guy that's wearing that's 200 pounds is gonna have some sort of decent punch. Angel between rounds was telling him he didn't. Yeah, that's what Angel kept saying to us at the post fight as well. Like, hey, Danny, what are you doing? Like, you got to throw more. You got to throw more. Yeah, this is why I'm gaining weight. I drink these little freaking things. NJMP, why didn't they give you the pay-per-view spot? If you guys want me back on the pay-per-views, because obviously I'd love to be on the pay-per-views, you guys got to tweet out Fox and PBC. That's really the only real way, for them to see, like, hey, you guys want to see me back on the pay-per-views, because I want to get back on pay-per-views. I can't say much. I'll be back on Fox on the 26th of this month, from what they've told me. But you guys just got to tweet at PBC on Fox, at Premier Boxing Champions, and be like, yo, we want Marcos on all of these, please. H. Logan can knock you out. Anybody can knock anybody out, bro. You just got to hit them with the right punch. Fight Hub fan, what's up? Like the name, Fight Hub fan. Good job. That is 7-Up that I'm drinking. Let's hear. Tell them I got 1 million subs. Yeah, that doesn't really work. I tried to tell them that before, how many subs I had, and it doesn't really work. I wish it was that simple. But it's not, which sucks. HB Crawford moving up to 154 to face Teixeira for the WBO. That's news to me. I don't know about that, but if it is, then okay, all right. 154. I'd rather see the Porter fight, to be honest. Would you say that Dany Garcia and Adrian Broner are similar for as low punch output and few wins at 147 pounds? Are they similar? Well, they're both counter punchers for the most part. Obviously, we say the same things with both of their fights, that they both got to throw more. So I'd say that's a similarity. In terms of like power, obviously Danny has more power. Danny is a better athlete. I think Danny's more dedicated. So I think that's where the similarities start to end. Outside of that, but because of that, I think, is Broner top 5 at 147 pounds? No. Is he top 10? You'd be pressed a lot of people to say that he is top 10 at 147. Some people would say yes, some people would say no. Is Danny still in the top 5 at 147? Yes, like I mentioned earlier. He split decision with Keith, really close fight with Sean, and obviously this fight with Errol, he was beat convincingly, but because like I said, if he were to fight Thurman 10 times, Danny would win some of those fights. If he were to fight Porter 10 times, Danny would win some of those fights. So that's, to me, he's still a top 5 guy. But man, he needs a big, significant win at 147, because I think the only guys that he's beaten at 147 is like Robert Guerrero, Adrian Granados that was coming up in weight, Ivan Redkach, and I don't know who else that he's gotten. So he doesn't have a marquee name at 147 pounds. So we'll see what happens, man. He needs to get one. Let's see here. Yo, Marcos, I fuck with you for reals, but you too nice in your interviews. I'm still supporting, though. Yeah, sometimes I get on myself for being too nice in my interviews. Like, sometimes I want to say what I'm really thinking, but I think if I say this, I'm not going to be allowed to get interviews anymore, or not going to be allowed to talk to them, because, trust me, there's times where I just want to go, that's BS. You're so full of it. Like, trust me, when they're telling me these responses, sometimes I think in my head, like, you're so full of it. Like, that's a load of, And I've had this discussion with friends. Like, imagine if it was like really me as a person. Because me as a person, when I hear BS, like I call it out, like straight out. You know, I'm a very upfront person with my friends, and they'll tell you that, man. Like, I am brutally honest with them, and I'm brutally honest with myself, because I always felt that that's honestly is the best policy, because I'm not sugarcoating it. You know, I'm telling you, me as a friend, I'm telling you how it is, because I care about you, because you know, gotta tell you the truth. I think that's if you have that in a friend, man, that's honest to you, and that, you know, doesn't lie to you in your face about stuff, that's a friend you want to keep, man. That's an honest person that you want around you. You want honesty around you, and it's better to say things straightforward than to sugarcoat it and lie around it and create a lie around it. But yeah, man, there's times where I really want to, like, you know, say things like that, but you know, obviously I can't. I got to be professional. Um, in these interviews, I wouldn't be very professional of me, and I really pride myself in my professionalism in my interviews and in my ability to keep composure in the interviews as well. Even though there's times that I do want to get, you know, like a Stephen A. and just have, like, well, not an over the top reaction, but, you know, I at the end of the day, I just want to have great freaking interviews that are entertaining to you guys. And really, this has always been my two things for interviews when I do them. I want to make them good for you guys to listen. I want to make an enjoyable conversation with me and my subject, but also get them to give us new information you guys haven't heard. Sometimes it's a little bit harder to do that with certain subjects. Sometimes, you know, it comes out. You know, I have a very nonchalant approach at times with the people that I interview, but it takes a lot of prep work and a lot of running scenarios in my head as well. But, you know, trust me, there's times that I want to be like, nah, that's BS, you know, or and all that. So everybody, thank you for, like, you know, the comments that I'm getting from you guys on the interviews. You know, I really do appreciate it, man. You know, because I take pride in the work that I do. You know, I don't like putting out mediocre work, and I don't like being a ass licker either. You know, but I try to keep it respectful when someone needs to. I don't want to say grilled, but when a question needs to be asked, I find a way to ask it in the most respectful way possible, because at the end of the day, I got to stay professional. You know, you got to be professional in this job. But thanks everybody who's given me what is it? Props to Hurricane Hank thinks BK is a bad broadcaster. Dude, no way, Hurricane Hank, man. Brian Kenny is a freaking legend, dude. He is a tremendous broadcaster, and I think one of, like, that. If you're a person learning interviews or learning journalism, okay, and I know he gets a lot of shtick for it, but I think fans are misaligned in their view of this. His interview with Floyd Mayweather, the one that he did a few years back, where he grilled him about not fighting Pacquiao, that is a case study on what to do when a subject doesn't want to give you a straightforward answer, and how to maneuver to get some sort of information on the subject out of them. That was a tremendous interview that he did with Floyd Mayweather years ago. It was entertaining as well, and dude's like a Hall of Famer, I think, in broadcasting, man. Like, it's crazy that I get to work with him on the, you know, occasions that I do get to work with him, because he's accomplished so much in broadcasting. To be honest, yeah, I remember what Floyd told him. He said, "You're a man of many talents, but a master of none," or something like that. Did any of you guys remember the response that he gave him? A lot of you guys are saying many master of many things, a master of nothing. Yeah, I remember that. But look at how the interview came up. That was a great interview. Okay, because at the end of the day, he pressed him on the issue as to why he's not fighting Pacquiao. He got some sort of answer. You know, if it was another person in that position that wasn't as seasoned, they would have stopped it. They would have went on to the next question. You know, I was in a position before where Floyd kind of did that to me, where I asked him, and I can't believe I said this because I'm just surprised I said this, but I asked him straight out. People say Manny Pacquiao's on steroids. Do you think Manny Pacquiao's on steroids? And he told me, this was during the Shane Mosley press junket, the press conference in LA. It's a funny press conference because a ring girl ended up passing out because of the heat, and we got it on camera. And she's like, and like she face planted face first on the concrete, and like Floyd is like laughing. Everybody's like, what the heck? Like everybody was like chuckling. So, but back, I asked him, is Manny on steroids? And he goes, Mayweather Mosley. And then he says the date. And I asked him again, Floyd, you didn't answer the question. Is Manny on steroids? And he goes, Mayweather Mosley. And like at that point in my mind, I was like, well, shoot, like he's not giving me an answer. What do I do? So I went to the next question. So he put me in that position. But looking at that Brian Kenny one, he asked the question, he didn't get a response. He maneuvered and then he asked the question to get back to that response. So that's more about a case study of what to do in that situation. Dude's a master interviewer. But that's the other thing as well, is at times when you're doing interviews on television, some of the questions you have to ask because you're being told by your producer to ask them. Sometimes they will ask for your questions and they'll tell you, we don't like that question. Don't ask them that question. Seen it before. So to me personally, though, I think he's a tremendous talent. And that for young journalists studying, that interview is like a case study. Go look over that interview. Go look how he starts it, how he maneuvers, and how he's able to get it back to that topic, and how he's able to get new information when he was being very, very tight-lipped about that whole situation. Didn't want to talk about it. He ended up getting him to talk about it, and that's what you got to do in that position. All right, let's go. Let's get back. Let's get back. She could have been a diabetic genius. I don't know. She was very skinny, very pretty, very fit. So I'll just leave it at that. I don't know. Also, Angel flipped out on you too, bro. I thought you held yourself well. Yeah, I want to do an interview with what's up, Marcus. What do you think about Angel talking shit about Dany on camera? Send me a link to that. He was talking. That's surprising to me. Ryan, Marcos, how much you make a year, bro? Not enough. Let's get with the Angel one. I want to sit down with Angel, man, and I want us to watch that interview again. So hopefully when this COVID stuff finishes, I can get Angel in a room. We could sit down together, and I can give you like a little backstory, and he can give you a little backstory about that camp, about the lead up to that, and then we can go watch the interview, me and Angel together, and then give like our reactions towards it. I think that'd be hilarious. I think that makes such a great interview. I'd love to get Danny's input, his brother. I think his brother's name is Eric. Eric's input, because I think Eric was there when the interview was happening, if that's his brother's name. And Danny, I saw Danny after that interview. I saw Danny a few months later at a basketball game, and he looked at me and he just started laughing. And he's like, hey, you're the guy that my dad yelled at. And I felt embarrassed. I was like, oh, no. He's like, no, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. Like, that interview cracks me up. So I want to get them all together, and hopefully we can see the interview. Who watches Mandalorian? I just got a Mandalorian question. Where'd it go? I need to get a delay thing on here. What'd you ask, bro? Art, where'd you go? Why are the Mandalorian episodes so freaking short? Dude, if you guys watch Mandalorian, this last episode that happened on Thursday was the best episode of the whole entire freaking series, man. Well, they're what, like 40-something minute episodes? Dude, give me 10 more minutes of the episode. But this last episode was tremendous. I think it redeemed a certain character from the original trilogy, even though he was like in dad bod mode. When he wore the thing that he wore, you can see his big old belly. I actually gave that actor a ride back. I want to make a video about this, but I gave him a ride back from the gym one time. He was in town to watch Joseph Parker train for his Anthony Joshua fight. And I remember I walked in and I was like, what the hell? I guess I want to say spoiler alert. I think a majority of people have already watched The Mandalorian, this last episode of The Mandalorian. So I don't think I'm spoiling much if I say who it was. So a few years back, 30 minutes. No, they're like 40 something minutes, bro. They're like 47 minutes. So take another swig of this, which is causing me gain weight. Dude, this whole bubble thing sucked, man. I couldn't even really work out. I only had like a real workout like 2 days in the bubble. I haven't even gotten to the bubble, and we're already 40 minutes in. It's been a great live chat, by the way, guys. Let's go ahead and get more likes. Let's see if we can get to 150 likes. Subscribe to the channel. Help us get to 1 million subs, please. And watch all our content, man. Watch all our content. Okay, I gave Tamora Morrison a ride from the gym. From Joseph, he was in town to watch Joseph Parker train for Anthony Joshua. I stepped to the gym and I was like, "What the heck? What is Boba Fett doing here?" And I remember I went to my camera guy and I went, "Bro, that's Boba Fett." And he didn't know who that was, and I wanted to slap the ish out of him. Like, how do you not know who Boba Fett is? He never watched Star Wars. Weird guy. And I was freaking out. And I text my best friend and I told him, "Bro, Boba Fett is here in the gym right now." And I sent him a picture and he was like, "Oh my God, what the hell?" And he was there watching Joseph Parker. He's friends with Joseph Parker. And at the end of the session, he came up to me. He's like, "Hey, bro, where are you going?" And I'm like, "I'm going to go home." And he's like, "Can you give me right back to the MGM?" And I was like, "Are you kidding me? Freaking Boba Fett is asking me to get a ride back to the MGM Grand right now." And I took a picture with him. See if I can take. Let me see if I can find the picture. See if I'll show you guys. I took a picture with him, and I was like, I can't believe. Got his email, got his contact info, and I never followed up with him. I'm such an idiot. I'm not good at networking at all. Not good. But it was cool because he was in town for a convention, like a signing for somebody. Not for somebody. It wasn't like a Comic Con, but it was like one of those things where it was a signing, and he was there, doing autographs, doing signings. Okay, I'm gonna find the picture here. Try to give it to you. There he is. There he is. There's me and Boba Fett. Can you see it? Wait, that's me and Tim. Hold on, me and Boba Fett. Right there. That's him. That's Tamura, and that's me. How cool is that? Right? That was an awesome day. All right. I can't pronounce your name, bro. I think it's Duran Dice84. Thanks for using the super chat, bro. Thank you. Let's see. Who gets Pacquiao first? Spence, Bud, any updates? I'm going to try to schedule an interview with Manny. I'm going to see. I'm going to try to work my magic, bro, and see if I can get an interview with Manny. But last I heard, it was going to be Crawford. They had a deal in place with Crawford, and that it might happen from what Aram said on TV, because they have a deal in place to do it in the Middle East. I would imagine, I think Manny has one more fight at you should consider boxing Mario Lopez. I think that'll be a good scrap. I'll take that fight because I know that it'll be a lot of money. Mario's a big dude. I don't know what happens in that fight. I know he trains. I haven't trained boxing in a long time. I would want to have a serious camp and all that. And I would not want to get hit with his right hand, but I would take that fight because I would make a good amount of money. How do you email me? Just DM us on the Fight Hub account. All right, back to what you're saying with Manny. I would say between the two, between Crawford and Spence, like we can only speculate. Like he has one more fight left on his PBC contract. You would think because of that. But even though I heard he can fight anybody he wants, but then PBC just gets a cut of that fight. So if you go from what Aram said, it's going to be Crawford. Crawford's the next guy because they already had a deal in place in the Middle East for that fight to happen. So you would think, it's Crawford. Out of the two, they're both hard fights for Manny. I think, they're both equally as difficult. You got a guy there that has an excellent jab, who's highly active, that's going to come forward to Manny. The thing is, historically, Manny's done extremely well against guys that come forward to him, that go to bring him the fight. Thing is, this guy's a hell of a lot bigger than him, and I worry there because of the size. And you got another guy, master counterpuncher, that can switch from southpaw to orthodox, that is just going to give him all sorts of fits and trouble because he's such a technician, such a master in there. And he got Stretch Armstrong freaking arms, man. Crawford's reach is freaking ridiculous too, so it's Manny's gonna have a hard time like cutting the distance. He's gonna come in and gonna eat a jab. So yeah, they're both difficult fights for him. But you're right, James. Manny's still the man. Omar, the 26th, we're having a Fox show. I think we're still having a Fox show, but on the 26th. But you guys got to tweet PBC. You guys got to tweet PBC on Fox to so and let them know, hey, we want Marcos back on these things as well. Interview with Manny and other boxers live streams. Announce it ahead of time. Yeah, I got to do research on that, but that is a goal of mine that I do want to do, is to have live interviews where we dedicate a section of the interview to answering some of your live chats on there. So no, I'm trying to get to it, but certainly that is a goal of mine for the future, to have live streamed interviews for you guys. Thanks for showing the fights in Mexico, Marcos. Yeah, no problem. Arm trying to bring. I think we have another fight coming up. I gotta actually follow. I gotta send a text actually, because I think we're showing a live stream fight for Thompson coming up in a few weeks. So let me send a text to the guy that's editing. Can I get a graphic for the fight? In the meantime, guys, go ahead, please like the live stream, press like, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Please share the channel too, man. Tell all your boxing homies, all your boxing friends to watch Fight Hub, support Fight Hub. Follow us on social media at Fight Hub TV on Twitter and on Instagram. Follow me as well, my personal at Hey It's Marcos V on Twitter and on Instagram. And let's get back to the questions. Let's see. Tune in December 19th. Greatness in the making. What's happening on December 19th? Oh, we got another super chat. Let's see here. Henry Sell. Thank you so much, Henry. Let's see what your question is, Sir Henry. Do you think Danny's still top 5? I do! Exclamation point. Ain't easy to go through him. Okay, so we talked a little bit about this earlier in the live chat. Man, we need you back on the broadcast. Kate Sean or Awkward and Goosen was just arguing all night. I love all those guys. They're all great people. What do you think about Sean Porter's new podcast? I haven't had a chance to listen to it. Sean, invite me on your podcast. Come on, bro. I'm supposed to do an interview with him, and he kind of, flaked on me. I'm very sad because I consider Sean a friend. All right, Henry. So earlier in the live stream, I mentioned that the reason why I don't think Dany Garcia is a gatekeeper because of what you said, because he's still a top 5 guy. If he were to fight Keith Thurman 10 times out of 10, he wins a lot of those. If you were to fight Sean Porter 10 times out of 10, he wins some of those. So, he's not at that point where he's being used to build another opponent, because he's not an opponent. He can beat the elite guys. If Dany Garcia versus Ugas, who's the favorite in that fight? That probably end up being a pick'em fight, Dany Garcia against Josecito Lopez, Dany Garcia would be the favorite. Josecito's knocking on the top 5, given his performance against Francisco Santana the other day. So he's not a gatekeeper. I still see him as top 5, because when you look at the welterweight division, who's the top of the welterweight division? Probably a majority of people's rankings will go like this: Crawford number 1 or Spence number 1. Obviously, then number 3, because they're interchangeable between Spence and Crawford. Number 3 is Porter. Who would be number 4? Thurman, Danny, 5 Ugas. There you go. He's still in there. So, and like you said, it's not an easy fight to go through him. Some people would say, well, that's why he's at a gatekeeper status now. But no, I disagree with that, because he could still beat a lot of these guys. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. Virgil. I don't think Virgil's top 5 yet. Virgil's top 10 for sure, but I don't think Virgil's top 5. That's for sure. Danny not a gatekeeper yet, but he now is a measuring stick, Marcos. Yeah, it could be, but I don't know. Like I said, he had a razor thin fight with Keith, very close fight with Sean. If he fights these guys 10 times out of 10, he wins some of those fights. So yeah, still top 5 in me. Yo, you forgot Pacquiao when ranking the welters, Marcos. I did. Oh, geez. It's because Pacquiao hasn't been active, man. So, okay. So you got Spence and Crawford are either going to be number one. Porter's going to be number two. You can make an argument that Manny should be number two, then Porter number three, then who else? Thurman four, Danny five, Thurman or Danny four, Thurman five, or Ugas four, then Thurman, then Danny. It's very close with there. Let's see here. Got to kick somebody out because they're dumb and they wrote a very stupid comment. Not feeling like putting them on blast. You're lucky, bro, because usually I put dudes like you on blast. All right, here we go. Virgil versus Ugas. Ooh, that's a tough fight. That's a good test. That's a good test for Virgil, to be honest. It won't happen. Well, actually, no, maybe it could happen. Maybe it could happen because Ugas is not considered a marquee PBC guy. So I think they would allow him to do cross-promotional fights with other people. Dude, I'd love to see Ugas and Crawford, to be honest. That'd be a tremendous fight. Jaron Ennis top fighting soon. Dude, yeah. Jaron Ennis is going to be one of those guys in the future for sure, man. That kid is great. Another kid that's going to be freaking – he's good, but he's going to be a top pound-for-pound guy, I think, if he keeps his ish straight, is Stephen Fulton. Yes. Prime time. That's not it. Stephen Fulton. Stephen Colbert. He says Colbert, but Stephen Colbert is Colbert. So should we call him Stephen Colbert? I don't know. Okay. Henry, what's up, bro? Thank you again for the super chat. Thank you. Felt bad for Danny. He tried. Yeah, he tried. But, do or do not. There's no try, as Yoda would say. Let's get more likes, guys. Let's get to 175 like the comedian Colbert. That's his name, isn't it? Let's see. It's prime. It's like Primetime 718 on Instagram. Let's see here. Colbert. He says Colbert. Dude, I am so out of it. I called him Stephen Colbert. It's Chris Colbert. But should we say Chris Colbert? He'd probably get really, really angry. Yeah. But Chris Colbert, that kid is freaking good, man. He's so freaking good. That's funny. I called him Stephen Colbert. Oh, man. Any new boxing babes, Marcos? Let's see. We're 52 minutes into this chat. You guys ready for some boxing babes or what? That means I'm going to have to pause and I can't answer questions. And I got to see who's a boxing babe that's caught the attention, the attention of all us thirsty fight fans. Doug Panda. Oh, yes. I like Doug Panda. Let me see here. Let's see who I have followed recently that I feel is very nice. Let's see. Boxing babes. She's not a boxing person. I think this chick's a hottie, though. She's a super hottie. She's like a Taekwondo chick. But she is gorgeous. Absolutely drop-dead gorgeous. She got some albondigas as well. Let's see. Her name is Leticia Esparza. She's gorgeous, and she's a badass. Taekwondo chick, but yeah, she is fire. So go and give her a follow. That's my boxing baddie of the week. Leticia Esparza. Look her up. She's the Taekwondo world champion. Little hottie, little Latina for you. There you go. That's the boxing baddie of the week. Just the baddie of the week, Let's see here. You guys are funny. Look her up on Instagram. You'll see what she looks like, This sucks. I had like a workout earlier this week. What about Sinisa Strada? Sinisa's a hottie too. She's such a beautiful girl. I had a workout, and now I got to go back and work out because during my workout, I was like, oh crap, like the live stream, like I got to do it. And yeah. All right. Devin Haney, if Marcos likes his Latinas, nice and cute. I love my Latinas. Yeah, I've dated just about every other ethnicity. I love, I love them all. I love them all, but they have a special place in my heart. Those Latinas, because hey, a lot of them end up having them nalgondigas, and I'm a sucker for them nalgondigas. That's for sure. All right, let's get some more likes, guys. Let's get to 175 if we can. All right, back to the questions. Leticia is cute AF, dark hair. See, I told you, bro. I told you. I'm on the laptop. The tap is lovely. She's fine. What did I tell you? I know my women. She's a gorgeous woman. Luis Ortiz versus Andy Ruiz. I love it. I spoke. We all know that Marcos wants to wife Franchon Cruz. Franchon Cruz got it going on, man. She's that's a whole lot of egg. That's a whole lot of ham for 2 eggs. That's what I will say for that. Franchon. There we go. All right. Luis Ortiz, Andy Ruiz. Great fight. Berlanga versus Chavez Jr. No mames. Come on, man. Let's get some more wins for Junior. Let's see if he's serious. Some significant wins for Junior, and then throw him in there with Berlanga, because at this point, I feel that Berlanga would knock him out, even though Junior's so much more experienced than Berlanga. It's just Berlanga's on fire right now. Yeah, you could say that he's at a disadvantage experience. Junior's taller, he's longer, but come on, we all know this is not the same Junior that he was 5 years ago. It's a different Junior, and I'd like to see Junior show us that he's serious, because it's been apparent that there's a disconnect there. Something's going on, but yeah, if he wants to cash out, but I don't think Berlanga's name is at that point where he could cash out in a fight like that against him. So I don't think that'd be very good for him at this point in Chavez Jr. versus Beterbiev. You want Junior to get killed, bro? Come on, dog. That's a terrible fight for him. Freaking Beterbiev is a Russian Mack truck, dude. I must break you. He'll break more than his face. He'll break every single bone in his body if that fight happens. That's a very bad fight stylistically for him. Chavez Jr. versus Jake Paul. Jesus. You know what? Don't even throw that into the universe, because sadly, I could see a fight like that happening. Okay. And I could see a lot of people thinking that Jake Paul would beat Chavez Jr. Chavez Jr. would kick the crap out of that kid. I give him props. He's learning, and he's getting better. And he seems to be taking it kind of serious. But don't put, dude, Mayweather versus Logan Paul. Like, that thing is happening. Like, God damn it. Why? You have to come. That's like, you're starting at, ESPN, okay? And you're like, yeah, I'm working for ESPN. And like the first assignment they give you is like the Westminster Dog Show. And you're like, oh, man, I got to go cover the Westminster Dog Show. This is what this event is to me, okay? I have to cover it because in my line of work, I cover fights, cover boxing. Whether I think the fight itself is going to suck or not, I have to cover it because it's my job, okay? So with that being said, man, it's just legitimizing these YouTube fights even more, because people are going to be like, hey, there's money here. There's interest here. And I bet you anything, the main reason why people will buy that fight is because they want to see Floyd kick the crap out of Logan Paul. This is like the first time ever that someone's buying a fight not to see if somebody kicks Floyd's butt, but it's to see Floyd kick Logan's ass, because they want to see this kid get his ass kicked so bad that they're going to pay and hope that Floyd just puts a freaking ass whooping on him, because that's what everybody in America, everybody in the world wants to see. It's an exhibition fight. It's not a real fight, but I think that's going to be a big drawing point, is people are going to want to see Floyd knock him out or kick the crap out of him. I don't see how you could build a fight any other way than that, because it's obviously, we all know Logan has no chance for the fight to be competitive, even if he outweighs Floyd by 50 pounds. There's no way he's going to make it competitive at all. You know, whatever either or guy can say, we all know it's BS. Okay, this dude Logan is not going to do well against Floyd. Floyd's going to carry him. And really, the selling point, and then if there's, I don't know, there's smart, there are a lot, everybody involved in this very shrewd business people. But one angle they could take is, we know everybody hates this guy, Logan Paul. Tune in so you can watch me knock his ass out, because that's what I'm going to do. And they could build that. And people will pay money to see Floyd kick the crap out of Logan Paul, because people just want to see Logan Paul get the crap kicked out of him. No headgear. I don't think it's headgear. I think this is like the same type of a I think it's like a Tyson-esque exhibition, though there's not a lot of info on it as to where this exhibition is going to happen at all. Berlanga and Canelo is a showdown waiting to happen. Yeah, unfortunately, though, I think it might happen when Canelo might be at the end of his career, which is unfortunate, man. Is Berlanga the boogeyman? You know, he's showing that you got a lot to be afraid of, man, knockout power. But what happens when they're able to take those punches? You know, what do you show then? That's what I think. What I'm waiting for is that. I hope YouTubers don't promote this bull. Yeah, they will. You know, the YouTube community as a whole is very supportive and very collaborative. So all the YouTubers are going to get behind, Logan. They're going to get behind Jake. They all support each other. It's a very collaborative community. Boxing YouTube, on the other hand, is completely different. Super not collaborative. Everybody beefs. So yeah, that's that. That's all I'll say on that. Okay. Floyd wants a bag. Floyd gets a bag. I want to see more legends. Tyson versus Holyfield 3. Would like to see that. Let's get 175 more likes, guys. Let's go. This is what happens to Munguia, and now he just looks like everyone can handle his power. Yeah, at Munguia 154. Yeah, for a time we're like, holy crap, dude, this dude Munguia, he's just smoking fools. And then people were able to take his punch, and it wasn't the same. Logan had a fat party after the win. Yeah, I saw. Jake Paul had a fat party after when I saw the some little Insta stories on it. I'm definitely rooting for the YouTuber, says this guy, but I won't ish on this. By the time I know it, it'll be the day of the fight. I'll be watching highlights or hearing about it. Yeah, that's right. No, I'm not going to tell you more about YouTube boxing, bro. That's it. I'm keeping my mouth shut. Who does Canelo fight after Smith? Probably Gennady Golovkin. If not Golovkin, there's a few guys there. Obviously, DAZN's going to want to keep him around. They need Canelo to sell memberships here in the U.S. So they're going to do everything in their power to keep Canelo. So they're going to throw Billy Joe Saunders at him. They're going to throw Demetrius Andrade. He'll pass on Andrade. I don't know. You know, the Saunders fight is a very difficult fight for Canelo. Canelo's not one to shy away from fights, but these English guys don't have a very big name here in the United States, so it wouldn't be a fight that a lot of people. I don't know. Would you guys be like hyped over a Canelo Billy Joe Saunders fight? Let me know on the comments right now. Let me see. While we're waiting for you guys to respond, go ahead. More likes, man. More likes, everybody. Let's get it to 175 likes. Make sure to subscribe to the channel as well. Subscribe to Fight Hub. Help us get to 1 million subs, please. Okay, let's see here. Your response is already coming in. He needs to fight Charlo. Not really. No. I would. Hell no. Yes, it's a good fight. No. Canelo the type to want Caleb next. Saunders could box. I like BJ Saunders. He's very skilled. I would, but my friends won't. Get them, dog. I love your content, brother. Thank you, bro. Marcos, Jake Paul genuinely thinks he's a real pro boxer. He's only knocked out YouTubers and NBA stars who have never boxed in lives before. He's never fought a real fighter. I agree. It's true. Anthony Jones, F, no. It's mixed. I'm seeing sleepy emojis and signs from NJNP. He should just fight Munguia in Azteca Stadium. Canelo said he doesn't want to fight any more Mexicans. If not Saunders, then who? Caleb Plant. That's the thing. You know, what's the biggest fight that can be made for Canelo? Because obviously that's the fight that he's going to want to go to. Because if you're Canelo, and obviously if I was in Canelo's position, I want to fight the big fights, the fights that matter, the fights that get the whole world's attention, that get people excited. Those are the fights that I want. And what fight is that for Canelo? I think out of everybody with DAZN, the only one is Golovkin, though. It doesn't have the same luster as it did before. The real attractive fights, honestly, for Canelo are that over at PBC. Canelo and Caleb Plant, fire. That's a tremendous fight. Yeah, I understand Golovkin's more well known than Caleb Plant, but that is a tremendous fight. Tremendous freaking fight. Because Caleb's going to give Canelo problems, man, and he's bigger than Canelo. And Caleb's slick, dude. Caleb can end up winning that fight. The other fight, David Benavidez at 168 pounds. A lot of people think that David Benavidez can beat Canelo because he's just so athletic, so big, so aggressive, throws so many punches. That's another big fight. Chris Eubank Jr., another big fight. I don't think as big as a David Benavidez fight, but it's still a tremendous, very good, very competitive fight for as long as it lasts. Jermall Charlo, that's a huge freaking fight. It's already four fights that I listed with PBC guys that are way better than what DAZN can offer Canelo. And then, of course, the biggest fight I think that you can make with anybody in the PBC stable, Canelo versus Errol Spence. Problem is, Canelo's the one that is able to demand. He's the one that calls the shots. Canelo isn't going to meet Errol at 160 pounds. He calls the shots. Maybe he might do catch weight, but from all intents and purposes, Canelo's fighting at 168 pounds now. He's campaigning at 168 pounds now. That'd be 3 weight classes for Errol to move up. That ain't going to happen. And if he does happen, that's a huge disadvantage that Errol's at. Even though he's more of a natural middleweight, is Spence, but that's, a road too far, I think, even though if you were to look at Spence and you look at Canelo, you'd be like, okay, they're maybe kind of similar body types, but Canelo's been taking punches from guys that big. Even though Errol Spence, he told us after the fight that he's sparred guys that are around that weight, 175, 180 pounds, and he pushes them around. So, hey, you never know. You never know. But that's one of the biggest fights. I think, honestly, that's probably the biggest fight you can make in boxing is Canelo and Errol Spence. Thing is, though, the weight, and Canelo's even admitted too, like, hey, the weight might be a problem. Canelo ain't gonna go down to 160 for anybody. He's the one that calls the shots. He is the face of boxing at this point. Outside of Canelo versus Spence, what Fury versus Joshua, that's a huge fight, but I think that fight is mega big in the UK, pretty big in the US, but because of Canelo's stature here in the US, a Canelo and Errol Spence fight is a lot bigger than that. So let's see here. Let's see. Canelo's scared of Spence and Jermall. Nah, you crazy, bro. Canelo ain't scared of anybody. How is a guy scared to fight people when he goes up to 175 pounds to fight Kovalev, a guy that's way bigger than him? Come on, dog. Canelo's been fighting since he's a little kid, since he's like 15 years old. He's fighting grown men at 15 years old in Mexico. You think this dude's scared to fight people? This is his job. You don't care about fighting people. Come on, bro. Let's go there. All right. AJ Fight Week, this weekend against Kubrat Pulev this weekend. Oh, man, okay, it's already been 100. 2 more likes to get 175, guys. Let's go. Come on, let's go. Kovalev was washed before that. Nah, Kovalev had just fought a guy in his prime, in Anthony Yard, bro. He wasn't washed. He beat that guy. He beat Anthony Yard's a tough freaking guy. They caught him at the right time due to recovery. That was a tough fight for Kovalev. And Kovalev was still the champion. There was still a lot of Kovalev left in that fight. Yes, I think Porter versus Crawford is an excellent fight. He ain't scared, but he finna get whooped by Charlo. It's a tough fight, man. It's a tough fight. If you see how well Derevyanchenko did on the inside, and imagine Canelo on the inside, whoosh, it's a tremendous fight. It's a tremendous freaking fight. I would love to see it. And I love the Charlos. The Charlos crack me up. They're funny. They're hilarious. They're tremendous fighters. I have Jermell. Jermell should be on the top 5 pound for pound, given what he's pretty much cleaned out his division. I don't think people give Jermell enough credit, for what he's done. You've lost your mind. Nah, sir, you've lost your mind, I think. Okay, guys, I got to go back to the gym and get my workout in. Thank you so much for tuning into the live chat. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, please. Help us get to 1 million subs. This was a great live chat. I didn't even get to talk to the bubble. Dude, Dallas, Texas is crazy, guys. I was there at the fight. Nobody was wearing masks. I was stressed out the whole freaking time. At the hotel, once we left the bubble, nobody had on freaking masks. Texas, you do not give a F about what's going on with this Rona. At the airport, they put on masks and then they'll take it off. I was stressed out the whole freaking time. I got to go on a run. I'm not going to go to the gym. I'm going to go on a run away from people. Because I'm not taking my corona test till like Thursday. But these fights are nuts, man. Like I'm surprised how they're happening because there's no mask going on. And then we got to go back to the Canelo fight in 10 days. It's mind-boggling to me, but hey, man, everything's bigger in Texas, right? Everything's bigger in Texas. Even the COVID rate's a lot bigger than everyone else. Okay, all right, you guys, take it easy. I appreciate it. See you guys next Monday, and then the Monday after that. I think Monday, holy crap, the Canelo fight's in 1, 2, 3. Jeez, I gotta book my tickets. So Monday the 14th, I don't think I'll be able to do a live chat with you guys because I will be going for the Canelo fight. God, I got to get my tickets for the Canelo fight. All right, guys, I got to go. I got to get a run in. It was good to chat with you guys. Appreciate it. Give one more last like. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel as well. If you haven't already, follow us on social media at FightUpTV on Twitter and on Instagram. And hey, it's Marcos V. On my Twitter. My Twitter is good. I update my Twitter a lot. Instagram, not so much anymore. I'm kind of over Instagram. But all right, guys. Peace out. I got to go run. Take it easy, guys. Fury, freaking Pulev versus Joshua this weekend. Take it easy. Peace.